Are you looking for more commercial business? Because let's be honest, so many insurance professionals would love to have more commercial opportunities. The problem is, so many insurance professionals are struggling to find the correct client to target, connect, and convert. In the next few minutes, I will be sharing with you how a target market analysis can help take your commercial business to a whole new level. Welcome back to Advancing Insurance Professionals channel, where we teach insurance professionals how to skyrocket their growth and success in the new workplace. One of the most underutilized tools on growing a commercial book of business is completing a target market analysis on the industry you want to serve. At Insurance Centers of America, we teach our agents the importance of niching to truly grow their book of business. A target market analysis begins by allowing you to identify who your target is. So many newer agents start off by wanting to be all things to all people and offering their services to all industries. However, what they soon realize is this path leads to burnout, as you will never get the results that you're able to get just by niching down. Here is what Barb Rupert, our head of education at Insurance Centers of America, has to say on the importance of niching to ignite your commercial book of business.
Oftentimes I've seen many agents go ahead and get started with, I'm going to take everything off the streets and I'm going to write it. And what they find is after they've been at it a year, not only are they waiting for their phone to ring, but also they've got a book of business that they don't even know what to do with because it hasn't been the type of business that they write. I really encourage all of our students to do niche marketing. I like them to think about what do they like, because it's easier to sell something when they're interested in what you're doing. So, first and foremost, I'll ask them, what are your interests, and they'll tell me. And it's like, well, okay, well, then pick one or two things that you're interested in and go after that. You're going to be much more successful. You're going to have much better experience, and you're going to be able to relate with the client as well as become an expert in the field. I have a perfect example. I had an agent come to us. They were actually a life and health and benefits agent, decided to go ahead and get involved in the P&C business, and started out with personal lines and then came to commercial lines. Found out that he really likes restaurants. And so I was like, well, you know what? Let's go after a few restaurants. We focused really on what he needed to know. He not only took several of our commercial classes, but then took one of our specialty classes that was focused specifically on restaurants. And he was able to land a $40,000 restaurant account just by going through the class and being able to understand what the insured needed, what they didn't have, and how he solved that problem.
Wow, that is a great story. Thank you, Barb. Once you are able to niche down using a target market analysis, now the next part is truly being able to understand the pain of your target. Donald Miller, who is a thought leader when it comes to marketing in the modern workplace, talks about the importance of really capturing the attention of your target market by understanding their pain. No pain, no gain. And the reason for this is simple. When you understand the pain of your prospects, you are able to speak their language. This will allow you to capture their attention and rise above the noise in this ever so competitive work environment. It was Aristotle who explained the 3 modes of persuasion, which is exactly what we're talking about when it comes to converting a prospect to a customer. And one of those modes of persuasion is pathos. Pathos is all about emotional appeals. A great way to connect with your prospect on an emotional level is through their pain. Here is what Barb has to say on why understanding the pain of your target market will be a complete game changer for your business.
Because it's not so much what you're doing today, but it's really about where you're going and what your needs are going to be, not only now, but 3 months from now, 6 months from now. receipts grow, they change, payroll grows, it changes, exposures change. I mentioned the liquor liability, but maybe now they're doing catering off site. Maybe they've opened a food truck. And so these are all things that we help the agents think about. The other piece of it really comes from more of a risk control standpoint. Walking into that restaurant, and after years of being in insurance, I think I'm a huge nerd when it comes to this, but I'll really look at the exposures the restaurant has. So do they have steps that aren't tagged? Are the tables close together? Are there exit signs not working? Let's talk about, how do you mitigate loss? How can we help you run your operation smoother and not only meet the needs of your insurance, but tailor the product and offer you risk control to help keep the costs down?
Now, the next reason why a target market analysis will be so helpful for you in growing your commercial book of business is that once you identify the target market and you understand the pain, now you know the exact expertise that you can continue to develop so you could be a trusted advisor for your customers. As I always say, knowledge is power. And that couldn't be more true than when you're wanting to really grow your commercial book of business. Spending time investing in your knowledge and business development will have exponential results, as the revenue and the commissions are typically much greater when you're selling a commercial policy. Here is what Barb has to say on the transformation that happens when you are able to become a trusted advisor and have an expertise in a specific industry.
Finally, garage risks. I'm a car girl, so this was kind of my passion to write this one. But again, it's looking at how today's garages have morphed into multifunctional organizations where you can take your car in, and get it fixed, but maybe they're selling cars on the side. Maybe they've got a body shop to go with the repair shop. And so really looking at, how can we help that insured by educating our students and getting them armed for bear, so to speak, to ask the right questions and have that curiosity about the business. Because as business owners, we all know we love to talk about what we do, right? And by poising them to look at certain things, it opens that conversation. That agent now becomes a trusted advisor and not just the local salesman down the street. So I'd really encourage all of you to go to our link, www.icainsuranceenducation.com, to check out the courses that we have coming up. And remember, we repeat these every month and try to give you a great variety of everything and anything that you want to learn about. So check it out today, icainsuranceenducation.com.
Every day, we are changing agents' lives by equipping them with the knowledge, the tools, and the resources that they need to take their agency to the next level. If you have enjoyed this video, please make sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never have to miss another tip on growing your agency in the new workplace.